CompTIA A+, 220, 1101, and 1102. Common cables and connectors. Common cables and connectors. Computer cables are not random pieces of electrical wire. We usually identify cables and connectors using strange numbers, such as RJ45 and IEC 60320. There is no need to be confused. These are just standard codes by the various international organizations. These are a few that you should be aware of. IEEE, Institution of Electrical and Electronics Engineers, USBIF, USB Implementers Frontier, RJ, Registered Jack, IEC, International Electrotechnician Commission. Male, female. There is also a gender in the world of connectors. The male part refers to the connector side with pins, while the female part refers to the receptacle side. Video Graphics Array VGA. This is one of the older display connectors, also called an analog video connector. This is used to be everywhere in desktops and laptops, but the VGA connector could no longer catch up with the advanced video technologies. It was taken over by the DVI and HDMI connector. Digital Video Interface, DVI. Following a need for cabling that is capable of handling more video data, the DVI connector took over VGA. It was the mainstream video connector for a while until the mobile market boomed. People quickly realized that the size of the DVI connector is not good for mobile devices, and it is soon taken over by HDMI and DisplayPort connectors. High Definition Multimedia Interface, HDMI. This is the common Joe that you see everywhere these days, and it comes in various different sizes to fulfill the needs of various devices in the market. In particular, the most three common devices are HDMI Type A. The full-sized HDMI is used on desktops and some laptops. Mini HDMI Type C for the smaller tablets and ultrabooks. Micro HDMI Type D for mobile devices. DisplayPort. You can call this the successor of DVI cables, with a much smaller footprint, much more suitable for mobile devices, but just a quick trivial, DisplayPort and HDMI cables both carry video and audio signals. Technically speaking, they are not categorized as pure video cables, but audio-visual cables. Parallel cables. Once upon a time in the computer Stone Age, we connect printers to computers using these parallel cables. They are built like tanks and wouldn't even budge if you yanked at it hard. Of course, they could not handle large amounts of data fast enough and have been totally phased out. Serial connectors. The serial connectors are cousins to the parallel connectors. As some of you may have noticed, yes, these are the ancestors of the USB. Personal System 2, PS/2. These are invented by IBM for their line of computers called Personal System, for the purpose of connecting the keyboard and mouse. It turned out to be a good idea, got adopted by many other manufacturers, and became the de facto standard until USB took over. USB Serial Bus. I don't think USB needs a lot of explanation. USB devices are everywhere these days, but what you need to know is that there are so many types of USBs that it might get a little confusing. But here are the categories and types. USB 1.0, 2.0, and 3.0. These are versions of USB, and later versions of the USB simply supports better data transfer rates. USB 3.1 and 3.2. Still USB 3, but offers faster data transfer and also capable of handling more power for fast charging. Type A USB, the common Joe USB connector that you see everywhere. Type B USB, the square type connector that is commonly used for printers. Mini and micro type B USB, used for mobile devices such as smartphones, tablets, and digital cameras. Type C, also used for mobile devices, but this one is reversible. There is no direction U and can plug this in upright or reversed. Firewire IEEE 1394. The Firewire is Apple's so-called early version of the USB. but this is not compatible with USB devices. While there are a couple of gadgets made for the FireWire, it was never too popular and was overshadowed by USB. Thunderbolt. Following up with a not-so-popular FireWire, the Thunderbolt is the successor with a twist. Thunderbolt 1 and 2 adopted much of the DisplayPort technologies. The Thunderbolt port is a versatile one that can be used to connect to devices and output video. Thunderbolt 3. If you can't win them, join them. Apple finally cracked under pressure. This is pretty much a USB Type-C port with video output capabilities. Lightning. Lightning is the latest generation of iPhone/iPad connectors, and it is specific to Apple devices only. 3.5mm audio jack. This is another one that is commonly seen everywhere, but take note of the number of black stripes on the connector. The one with the 2 stripes is what we call a 3-pole connector, while the one with 3 stripes is called a 4-pole connector. The reason for that extra pole is to support an additional microphone on the earphone/headphones. Coaxial cable F-type connector. Coaxial RF F-type connector, commonly used for over-the-air television, cable television, and satellite TV. Ethernet RJ45. You may have seen this one, a wireless connected to a wireless router modem. Yep, in the old days when we do not have a wireless, this is what we used to connect to the PC router. For your guys who want to sound like legit engineers, the standard for Ethernet is IEEE 802.3, and the connector is RJ45. Telephone, RJ11. Well, you should know this from your home phone, and it is also connected to AIO printers to send out faxes. This is RJ11. Optical fiber cable. When it comes to faster internet, electricity and light are 2 of the fastest things that we can use to transmit data. But sadly, copper wires are reaching the technical limitations for data transfer. The newer generations of serious networking devices are skewed towards using fiber optic cables for ultra-fast data transfers. Optical fiber audio cable. Unlike the traditional copper wires, this one uses light to transmit data, and thus called optical fiber. Although expensive, the reason why some people may choose optical fiber is that copper wires have no tendency to introduce noise, static sound. Light signals do not introduce noise, and that results in a cleaner sound. Just don't stare into the ends of the optical fiber cable. Some may use lasers and can blind people.